Okay, everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can start to tag rooms and give them room names and certain ways that you can do that. So the easiest way that you can actually tag a room, if you just want to label it, is this little A up top is for text. So you can click on that, type a text, and then type some text where you can, and these are just general spaces that I've created. So I can call this off, say if it's an office, I can call it office 1. And then if I want to, this is a 1/4 inch text, and then 330 seconds are usually what come with Revit. If you want, you can edit its type, duplicate it, and then kind of create your own size. And then change its height, and then you can change its font and everything like that if you wanted to. But that's like kind of like a quick way that you can do it, and then you can copy it over if you want to. Maybe this is Office 2. And, maybe this is like storage or something. You can do it that way to quickly get it done, but it's probably not the most efficient way, just because one, there's this thing that's called like room tag, which is here, like room and area. You can see there's a room tag or area tag. And those can be, like, if you do it that way, you can actually use those to create color legends to show different spaces. And then the other one is under the Analyze tab, there's something that's called a space tag. It's basically the same thing. So a space tag is basically the same thing, in essence, as a room tag. The only thing with the space tag is it allows you to, when you tag spaces, later on when we go to do energy analysis and heat and cool load analysis, you utilize the space tag, because when you put a space tag in, you can adjust the space type in its properties, and then like how much air conditioning it needs and stuff like that. Where the room tag, it basically kind of just gives you areas and stuff. But they both work the same way, and I'm going to show both, but I urge you to use the Analyze tab because you're going to have to add spaces on later on after the mid-review, so you can start doing heated and cool load calculations quickly through Revit. But the first I'll show you is the room tag, where you can just click on room, and it knows to bound itself, by whatever space that you're in. So you can see as I go to the different spaces, it knows to be bounded by the walls. So I can click on it. So now that the room's in, you can see it has the room number. So like when I go to the next room, it'll say 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. So now I can click on this, and I could, if I just click here, I can change its name of this one, and I can change the rest. If I click on this room tag, and these come in automatically, if I click on this room tag, I can hit edit type, and then you can see where it says the number 1. If I don't want that to be shown, I can uncheck it, and it'll just show the name. If I go back to that tag, I can show area. So if I actually want to see the area of that space, but keep in mind that this only goes to the outer edge of the wall, and sometimes for actual measurements in buildings, they actually go to the center line of adjoining spaces for interior walls, and then to the exterior line on the wall. So sometimes this may not be the exact square footage that you need in real life environment. And then you can go to edit type. There's one for volume if you want to do volume. If you ever have to move a tag out of somewhere, you can show a leader head. So if I move this tag to here, you see if it's outside of a room, it'll stay outside of the room. I don't know why that leader arrow is not. There we go. I have to check it there as well. So now I can move it outside the room, and put it. So like if you have a small space and you need to do a leader, you can. But you got to make sure the leader line is checked. If the leader line here is unchecked, and you try to move it out, you have to be inside of a room. And then again, you have to make sure an arrow is actually filled out. Here. That's how you can add room tags through here. An easy way to kind of keep tabs on the room tags, and in case like say right now, if I delete just this tag, that room is still there, as you can see. There's just no tag to it. So I can click on this tag room, and then I can re-add the tag if I want to. But the thing that I want to show is sometimes you may forget that there's a room in there, and you may go to add a duplicate room, and now you have two rooms in there that you necessarily don't need. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a schedule. And I'm going to do a new schedule, and I'm going to scroll down to where it says rooms, and it's okay. And then you can add different parameters to it. So like if you're doing an actual room schedule in a work environment, you probably want its area. You could put its finishes for its floor, ceiling. Then there's one for wall finish. Occupancy. But for this purpose, name and number are probably the most important. And then maybe area, just so you can see it in a list fashion. I actually want number up there. And then sorted and grouping, I can sort by number, so it'll do it in order. And then I can hit OK. And now it'll give me, the rooms. And then if I actually minimize this, so I can see both at once. If I click on one, it should highlight it in the other view, hopefully. So that first one that I put in was a duplicate, but like I can't see it anymore. So if I click here, you can see it shows it there, and then I could, delete that row, and it'll delete that room. So that room is no longer there, and then I could renumber everything if I wanted to. And then this is a way to populate the data so you can see it quickly, and kind of experience it faster, to get it to be set up. So the other thing that you can do with room tags and space tags as well, which I'll show, is you can actually add a legend and start to color in the spaces so it's easier to read, particularly for a schematic design purpose if you want to. So if you go to the Analyze tab, you'll see something here that's called a color fill legend. So you can click on that, and then you just click anywhere on the screen to put it, and you can see that it says spaces. But if you click on this type, you can do rooms, and then you can do department or name. Here you can just do name. And then, so now you can see that there's just one color because every single space is called room. But now if I went in and said that this is an office, this is an office, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to make this one storage. This is, say this is an office. Let's say this is an office. And then maybe this is lobby or something. And then you can actually edit the color scheme. I forget how to do the edit scheme. So if you click on the legend, you can edit the legend where it will have different text sizes and everything. But if you click on it, you can see edit scheme, and this is where you can see the room names, and then you can change its colors if you want to, and then even the hatch pattern. You can see here that it's a solid fill, but if you wanted to do like maybe let's do diagonal lines if I can find them. There it is, diagonal up, So you can even do something like that. There's different things that you can do to it if you want. The department, there is, see here where it says department. You can name, when you put in a room, you can name different departments to it and then organize by department. As you saw when I first clicked, I could either do rooms or department. So department would be something like, if you wanted this to be called, Office 1, this Office 2, and this Office 3, but you wanted all them to be the same color, that's where you would do department, where you could tell, for this one, you can say department is office. And then this one, department would be storage. And then this one, and this one, the department would be office. And this one would be lobby. So now if I go back into this edit scheme, so you can see now that I have it set up by room, it has all 5 rooms in the legend. But if I go to edit scheme and switch to department, it goes back to only 3. So now you can have Office 1, Office 2, Office 3 with the same color and then the different colors. And this will be helpful for because places like storage and elevators and stairs, you kind of want like a gray color, and usually you tag it as like building support. So that's kind of like a way where you can do it that way. So that's kind of like a kind of a neat thing to quickly do and have it done. So you can come into edit type and edit its edit its size and text and everything like that. If you go to edit scheme, you can change the title of the actual legend. So you can see here I wrote the spaces and caps with cap locks on. So I probably want to just maybe like room schedule, and now it or space schedule or like whatever, or department schedule, whatever you want to do, or program. Maybe it's maybe that becomes program legend or something like that. Probably would be better. So that's kind of like something that you can do quickly to show the different spaces that you want. So now if they're, like say you put in these tags and you don't want to see them, what you can do is you can go to edit, visit. So when you're on the floor plan with nothing clicked, you can go to edit visibility for the floor plan. And if you go to annotation, you can go to, then you can scroll down to find room tags. And if you uncheck them, it'll make them disappear. And then if you want to reshow them, you just find room tags again, and they'll reappear. And then if you want the color to disappear but still stay there, so you can always switch it back on, you go back to edit visibility, but under the model categories, find rooms and uncheck rooms. Or if you still want rooms to be there but just the color fill to be gone, you can uncheck color fill, and it'll take off the color fill, and then you can always turn it back on and it comes back on. So that's kind of how to work with the room tag. I'm going to end the video here and do the space tags in the other video, in the second video. I do recommend that you use space tags because it gives you the same functionality. But again, space tags we're going to need for heating and cooling load, so you might as well just have them in now instead of using the room tag, because the space tag gives you all the same information and then some.